Welcome to Khel Now TV's Indian Super League 2021-2022 Tactical Profile Series. Today, we will take a look at how two-time finalist Kerala Blaster FC will possibly set themselves under their new head coach Ivan Vukomanovic. Kerala Blaster have been part of ISL Singh League inception in 2014. They were also the finalists that year and reached final once again in 2016 season. However, things have gone downhill for them since then, as they never secured even a playoff berth from 2017-18 season onwards. Last season was pretty dismal for the Yellow Army, as they finished 10th in the league stage table. They won just 3 out of the 20 games and conceded 36 goals during the process. Series of poor performance also resulted in the sacking of the then head coach KBFC, and who has been now replaced by Vukomanovic. Under the Serbian Belgium, the team will now look back to get to the winning ways and have made the several changes in their squad and their coaching staff. The 44-year-old coach has past coaching experience in Belgium, Cyprus and Slovakia. His best stint so far came in Belgium with club Standard Liège, where he initially helped the club for the development of their stars like Michy Batshuayi and Laurent Seaman, before taking charge as the head coach and even powering his side to the draw result against Emery's Sevilla side, who's one of the best side in the Europa League level, at least because Emery has won multiple Europa League with Sevilla that time around. After arriving at the Kochi-based club, Ivan Vukomanovic has already taken charge of the team in the pre-season friendlies, which various friendlies in Kerala, Kochi, and then of course in Goa, and of course Kerala Blaster also take part in the Durand Cup 2021, where they failed to pass the group stage. I think you have to give benefit of doubt to the coach, because they not able to train properly in Kolkata. I think they just have 2 sessions there, and also their key foreigners were not with the side. So now Kerala Blaster fans will be looking to that how coach will set up his team in the Indian Super League season. Speaking of his playing style, coach himself has said in various interviews, one of them with the Khel Now, that he likes to play attacking football and with no compromise in defense, so which is kind of a controlling football. His team likes to attack, but there should be no space behind the defense, or there should be not situation where your defensive numbers are inferior to the opponent attacking numbers. So I think he likes to control the game. And let's see that how he changed the fortune of this Kerala Blaster team, who struggled last season, and conceded 36 goals, as we already touched upon. Before moving ahead, let's talk about the Kerala Blaster squad and who's a key arrival and the key departure. And then we of course look upon their Indian players and how they can make difference this season. Talking about their squad, of course, now Albino Gomes is the number 1 with Gill as the number 2 choice. And of course, they have new set of foreigners. We have Ines Sipovic coming as a centre back, who's played for Chennai FC's past. Marko Lesovic as another centre back, foreign centre back. Then they have Indian options like Abdul Haku, Humpiram, Sandeep Singh, who can play in the multiple position in defense. Wing back, they have lots of wing back and full back, Jessel, Sandeep Singh, Nishu Kumar, Sandeep Stalin, Harmanjot Kabra, Dhananjay Mithe, and they can play on the various wings. In defensive midfield and the midfield option, they have Jeakson, Kabra, Putia, Ayush Adhikari, and Adrian Luna can play in that number 8 role again. As a number 10, they have Sahal and Gibson Singh. Up front, right wing, they have Rahul KP, Prashant, Vinci Bereto, Satyasin Singh. Left wing, they have Chencho, Sahal, Ayush Adhikari, who can play as a left winger, Vinci Bereto. And up front, they have, their Spanish forward, Álvaro Vázquez, and the Argentine forward, Jorge Pereyra Diaz and Anil Gamkar. Lots of players might miss from the final squad. They've still not announced their final squad. There are some rumors coming out that particular players have been left, but clubs still not announced their final squad. But I think this look like their squad for the upcoming season. We will have only, I think, some subtraction from this squad. Majority of the players will remain same. Now let's talk about who will be the key foreigners which they have signed, starting from their number 8 or number 10, and he can play up front also. We have seen in Durand Cup, Adrian Luna. Adrian Luna arrives at Kerala Blaster after winning double with A-League outfit Melbourne City. Uruguayan midfielder, while at Melbourne City, proved that he can play as a secondary striker, attacking midfielder, box-to-box midfielder, even as a right flank if needed. His versatility, passing vision, and an ability to find those key important passes and score those goals will provide Kerala Blaster a good option in the midfield and even in attack. So talking about his numbers since 2019 and 20 season, he has played 51 games, scored 9 goals, assisted 9 goals, created 43 chances. His expected goals is around 10, so which shows that he's not that clinical in front of the goal. And of course, you can accept that from the box to box or a number 8 or number 10 midfielders. They generally are not the best finishers in the team. Of course, he attempted 1,935 passes, out of which 82% were success. He also attempted 62 key passes. Talking about dribbling ability, he attempted 84 dribble, out of which 63% were successful, which tell you about that he can dribble around those tight spaces, and they will have somebody like Adrian Luna and Sahal in midfield who has that ability to dribble pass from those tight spaces with multiple players in midfield. And again, as I'm telling about, he's not that good finisher, but he's a good assist provider. He has his XA, expected assist, is 15. Eventually, he got original assist as a 9, which tells us he created at least 15 goal scoring 100% opportunities, but the finishers or the attacker missed those opportunities. That's why I just have 9 assists. Another interesting stats from the expected goals and the assist is net XJ, which is net expected goals, which is 30, which tell them that the team which he has played for from 2019-20 season has goal difference of 30, should have goal difference of 30. So tell you that he has, and of course his CV tells you about everything about him. Is winning double with the Melbourne City in A-League is not easy, and been a part of that squad who, big part of that squad who won that double. I think Kerala Blasters have a very good player in their hand, and they had always had these good CVs, good players coming into the club. Now they need to find a perfect balance to use a talent like Adrian Luna. How they're going to use him as a number 8, as a number 10. Considering course like 4-4-2 formation, I think he might be part of the midfield 2 or midfield 3, and because they have lots of forward options, so I think he will be playing in the midfield for Kerala Blaster. Jorge Pereyra Diaz is the second foreigner in my list. Argentinian striker is on a season-long deal at the Kochi-based club. He has a prior experience of playing in Asia, having done so well with the Malaysian giant JDT. Under Vukomanović, Diaz is expected to find himself either one of the 2 striker in 4-4-2 formation or any other formation. I think he has that ability to score goals, and which tell you about, which I'm going to tell from his numbers since 2018-19 what he has done. So let's talk about his stats. Since 2019-20 season, he has played 63 games, which tell you that he has a good fitness, doesn't get injured much, has scored 25 goals, also provided 10 assists, and he has created 64 chances. His expected goals, unlike Adrian Luna, is 17, and he scored 25 goals, which tell you that he's a very good finisher. It's just now Kerala Blaster need to make sure they create enough chances for him to score those goals. If they provide him good opportunity to score goals, I think he will finish those chances and score the goals. He's attempted 844 passes, 72% passing accuracy, which is I think decent number for our forward player, because you are not hoping them to play the tiki-taka or something, you are hoping them to score the goals. He also attempted 82 key passes, and his expected assist is 8, which tell you that he has played with quality players in past, because his actual assist is 10, so that's 2 more than his expected assist. Now let's talk about one more foreigners, not much, but that centre forward, Spanish centre forward Álvaro Vázquez. I have been saying it very regularly on this channel, Nikhil Now TV, that even his numbers and figures are not as impressive as other centre forward coming into Indian Super League, and even as compared to the Argentine striker. But if you goes into detail, his numbers will tell you the different story. Since 2018, he has played 101 games and scored 16 goals, provided 4 assists. So, but his XJ, expected goals, is 15. So that's also tell you that wherever he's played his football, that team has not created enough chances for Álvaro, and I was talking to a few people in Spain, and they told me that he can make impact in ISL like other Spanish strikers have done in past. So now I think Kerala Blaster have 2 very good strikers, and I think they have to make the system and make sure that they create there are lots of chances for Álvaro and somebody like the Argentine striker Pereyra Diaz. So I think I'm looking forward to watching them, and I think Álvaro's, as I told you, the CV or numbers might not look that impressive other strikers or other players at Kerala Blaster, but I think he might be that dark house type player who will come and surprise everybody with his goal scoring ability. And I think let's see how Ivan is going to use both of them. Before moving to the key Indian players who will provide handy for Ivan in upcoming season, let's talk about two exclusion, I think, which I was also surprised because Kerala Blaster decided to completely reboot the squad. I think one is Jordan Murray, considering they have replaced him with Chencho. I think looks like that, and Jamshedpur FC got a better deal in it. But then, of course, they have a two new centre forward. They needed a Asian player who can play on the wing or in midfield, so they went ahead with Chencho. What I was told that they also made an offer to Eric Pachalu, but eventually that offer was not that attractive for Eric to come to Kerala Blaster, and then Kerala Blaster settled to sign Chencho. I think Eric would have suited them better compared to Chencho, but I think Chencho can make difference. Other than that, I think Fekendo Pereira is another player which I think was one of the best performer for Kerala Blaster last season. Might have given us a chance, but I know, considering they have a new coach, complete reboot in terms of foreigners, I think these two players leaving Kerala Blasters, I think they could have been part of this squad, as simple as that. Now let's move towards their Indian players. So as now Kerala Blasters have new foreigners, new coach, I think their Indian players, especially the local players who belongs to Kerala, need to take a bit more responsibility. A player like Hamanjot Singh Kabra, Nishu Kumar, who has been part of Indian football for a while, they also need to help out these young players, to share the burden of that responsibility. But I think one Indian players who I personally want to do well this season at Kerala Blaster is Sahal Abdul Samad. India International he did not play regularly, but had a decent outing at SAF Championship 2021, where he scored that amazing goal in the final at the last stage of the game. So I think that shows that this player has all the ability, and what I heard, that he has impressed the coach till now in the training sessions. So I think I'm looking forward to see that how he's going to do it. And as I always said that he's former ISL emerging player, that he needs to increase the output in terms of goal and assist. He's amazing technical player. But I think in the end, a player will be judged, attacking players especially, will be judged on those goals and assist numbers, not just on the how many dribbles you have completed. So yeah, talking about his numbers, we will talk about the dribble completion rate also, which is very good considering if you compare it with the Indian players. Sahal since 2019 has played 51 games. I think people thinks that he has not played that much. Of course, the number of minutes is less, not if he has played full 51 games, but of course, he has been played from bench and from starting 51 games in total. Just scored 1 goal, just provided 5 assists. I think these numbers, I am hoping that this season, Sahal should at least score around 5 or 6 goals or provided assist around 6 to 7. I think if he reaches this figure, it will be great success for him. Talking about his expected goals is 4.7, which also tell you that he has not finished his chances whenever he got them for India or for Kerala Blaster. 4.7 expected goals. He just scored 1 goal, so that is nearly 3.7 less than his expected goals. He created 26 chances for his teammates. Also, talking about his dribbling ability, as I told you that he's an amazing dribbler. He has attempted 193 dribbles, which is nearly 4 dribbles per game. And out of those 193 dribbles, he has completed 63%. Another thing which is interesting is expected assist, which is 9, and which is 4 less than his actual assist. That tells you that he has created chances for his teammates, but those attackers and the teammates have not finished those chances. Second player, another local player. I'm hoping that these local players will take Kerala Blaster to their first playoff since 2016 or 2017 season is Rahul KP. Rahul KP has been part of India international setup, him part of the various camp. Currently, he's representing India under 23 team in the AFC under 23 championship qualifiers, and he has done well for India, in these qualifiers. Kerala Blaster fans will hope that he will bring that form back to the club. Eventually he was playing as a mainly on the left winger for Igos team and India 23 side. But I think as Kerala Blaster, he will be expected to start at the right wing position. And I think considering that he has scored against UAE in AFC under 23 championship or AFC under 23 Asian Cup qualifiers, Kerala Blaster fans will hope that he will score more and more goal for Kerala Blaster this season. He was last season Kerala Blaster top Indian goal scorer with 3 goals, and 2 of which came against Bangalore FC. So I think he knows that what to do at the big games, to score those goals. And I think this game, he's just 21. Fans will hope that he will like the regular pro who will score goals in Super Leagues for them. And I think talking about his number, since 2018-19 season, he has played 50 games, not equivalent to the 50 games minutes. I think he has played 50 games, out of which he has scored 6 goals, provided 1 assist. His expected goals is 8, so that is 2 less than the actual goals. So that he need to work more on his finishing ability. I think he can come on the situation, but not finishing as good as he need to. And expected assist is 3.3, so which is 2.3 less than actually what he's got, which is just 1. I think this is the season where we can see Rahul KP becoming a regular member of Kerala Blasters, not just in terms of the playing 11, or in terms of providing those attacking return. And I think both Sahal and Rahul KP will be playing on the wings for Kerala Blasters. So I think the majority of the creativity for the team should come from both of these lads. So third player in the list is another FIFA Under-17 World Cup, Jeakson Singh, and he's different because he scored the India's only goal in any FIFA World Cup tournament at any age group. So I think Jeakson Singh has not played these number of games which Sahal or Rahul KP has played in past, because eventually he made that big move, straight away after the World Cup, and it took him time to become some regular for Kerala Blasters. Last season he played, but not many games. I think this is the season, because Kerala Blasters doesn't have a foreign defensive midfielder. He, alongside Harmanjot Singh Kabra, Puita, Ayush Adhikari, so these players will be playing in that midfield. And I think Jeakson Singh, considering he's also played for India senior team, playing for India Under-23 team, that shows the talent this lad had physically. He's very strong, and he can always help in the aerial situation, the defensive third of his own team, and then also help in the attacking situation, which we saw in that FIFA Under-17 World Cup when he scored a thumping header to score the India's first ever goal in the FIFA World Cup. So I think Jeakson Singh, Rahul KP, and alongside Sahal, 3 young players. I could have picked somebody like Harmanjot Singh Kabra or Nishu Kumar, who is still recovering from injury, or Jeakson. But I think these 3 players, the position they are going to play, will have biggest chance to make impact in the game, because number 6 is one of the important position. Considering Ivan play 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, he has number 6 will be the base of the team. And both the wingers, considering that he doesn't have a number 10 in his formation most of the time when he play 4-4-2, I think Sahal and Rahul KP will have to share the burden to create chances for both the centre forwards up front. We touch upon the key Indian players, key foreigners. Now let's talk about this setup. I think, as we have seen, Ivan don't have a long coaching history, so there are less game to analyze. But whatever we have seen till now in Durand Cup is his game, which he coached in Europe. I think he likes to play 4-4-2 formation, a flat, not a diamond. And I think that will be his primary formation going into the this Indian Super League season. As you can see on your dashboard, you will have somebody like Alvino Gomes playing as a goalkeeper, 2 foreign centre back. Sandeep Singh ahead of Nishu Kumar, because Nishu Kumar is still recovering. I think if Nishu recovers quickly or during the season, I think I can see Nishu Kumar playing as a right back. And on left you have Jeakson, who can easily share that position with somebody like Sanjeev Stalin, another FIFA Under-17 World Cup. In midfield, you have their new signing Harmanjot Singh Kabra alongside FIFA Under-17 World Cup goal scoring hero Jeakson Singh. On right, you have Rahul KP. On left, you have Sahal. Up front, you have Álvaro Vázquez and Pereyra Diaz, who will play that withdrawn secondary striker role. So I think very simple 4-4-2, hoping that 4-4-2 to have somebody like Sahal, who can play the traditional playmaker, the role which Brendan played very well at FC Goa under Sergio Oliveira, and come inside to create that overload in that attacking area, and hopefully the Rahul KP provides a threat from the wing to stretch the team so that somebody like Sahal or somebody like Pereyra Diaz have that space to operate in the final third. I think the moment you can see on a screen is very simple. I think, if they have ball with the defense, I think Jeakson Singh will provide the role of getting the ball from defense and passing to the attacking player. Keep eye on Sahal and Sahal movement on your screen, also on Rahul KP's and Pereyra Diaz movement. Jeakson Singh, then Sahal will have to play that important role, to take the burden of creativity, and Sahal can carry the ball. Then you have Jeakson as Sahal will play inside most of the time as a playmaker, I think Jeakson have to keep the width on left. And once Jeakson do that, someone like Jeakson and Singh has to provide defensive stability so that KL Blasters doesn't face too many counter-attack. And then you can just Sahal plays to Pereyra Diaz, and then you will find Pereyra Diaz using any of those attacking players on the final third, something like Rahul KP on right wing, Jeakson who is keeping the position on the left wing, and then you will have Sahal making those movements to get those ball back, or Jeakson can of course cross the ball on the box for Álvaro, for late arriving Pereyra Diaz, and then you can see the blocks. And then they will have two centre back. Then they will have somebody like Jeakson Singh protecting both the centre back with his physicality, with his defensive awareness. Somebody like Harmanjot Kabra, also an important player, playing in the pivot midfield. 4-4-2, he can go on right side and put those crosses. We have seen Harmanjot Kabra doing it in and out for Bengaluru FC, for Sunil Chhetri. I think with two centre forward are physically strong, can score goal from head. I think Pereyra Diaz and Álvaro will hope that Harmanjot Kabra goes on the right, and if he does that, Sandeep Singh can always stuck in midfield to protect him, and they can make this secondary block which I've just shown on the screen with Jeakson Singh, Harmanjot Kabra and Sandeep Singh. Then on our attacking front, you will have Jeakson, Rahul KP from the wing, Sahal, Pereyra Diaz just behind Álvaro, and this gives them a good opportunity to overall to do the attacking play. Similar way in this formation, if they're looking to defend, because when you play 4-4-2, you can overrun in the midfield because it's just two midfield. That's why the role of Sahal and role of Pereyra Diaz is very important. They have to at least give a numeric advantage to KL Blasters. Even doesn't do the much defensive duties, but at least come in midfield, tuck in midfield, so that the opponent team doesn't get the free open spaces, Now let's see the defensive way, how they're going to do it. It's very simple. I think both the centre back will stay close. You will see Sandeep Singh going very close in that box, and Jeakson keeping the left wing, because he has to protect. He has to give Sahal some freedom to operate in that midfield. You will also see Jeakson Singh dropping deep in that defense. He has that aerial ability to win those header. And then of course you have Harmanjot Kabra and Pereyra Diaz also dropping deep in midfield and helping his team. But I think they should leave Rahul KP up front alongside Álvaro Vázquez, because Rahul KP has all the pace to burn that right wing and to find Álvaro Vázquez. You see on your screen, I've drawn the arrows in space which Rahul KP will operate. So I think in block wise they will have these 4 defenders, then have someone like Jeakson Singh, so 5 defenders, and then they have a 3 midfield combination of Sahal, Pereyra Diaz and Harmanjot Kabra, and then of course this can switch. Álvaro and Pereyra Diaz can switch their position according to the situation, according to the game. So I think this is a good, this should be the base of their formation. I personally feel this doesn't have Adrian Luna, but I think this gives them a better opportunity, because I think people still underrating Álvaro signing. I've been said this multiple times. I might prove wrong, but this is what I heard from people in Spain. So that's why I have been insisting that he might come handy for KL Blasters this season. And his signing has gone under the radar compared to other big forwards in the league, and even at KL Blasters, there was a more from fans, more shout and everything for somebody like Adrian Luna or Pereyra Diaz, so I think he will prove handy. Another option for them which will bring them more players in is playing the 4-3-3 formation. In that you will get Adrian Luna in, so which means up front you can play Álvaro or Pereyra Diaz. So as you see on screen, I have put an Álvaro. Pereyra Diaz can also play that role. It's still putting Sahal on the wing, Rahul KP on the wing. So this inconsistent midfield trio of Luna, Jeakson Singh and Harmanjot Kabra. Of course, you can play an Indian centre back and then put someone like Chincho on the wing or Pereyra Diaz on the wing, which I've done in the third formation which I picked. So in this formation, I think very simple, a similar kind of movement which I've seen. Sahal playing that free role, and Jeakson Singh against helping the team to get the ball to the midfield. And then you will see Adrian Luna, getting those ball and not just getting the ball. Adrian Luna will be hoped to carry that ball up front, and then use Sahal or Jeakson as an option, and even use Rahul KP as an option. And whenever Adrian Luna can score goals, we have seen in his stats in previous part, and then Rahul KP can always shoot, can cross, get Álvaro, Adrian Luna, Sahal in the picture. Also, Harmanjot Kabra again in that free role on the right hand side, put those crosses in. So I think this gives them another option which might see them playing 4-4-2, 4-3-3, because that will bring Adrian Luna in. but that means that they have to drop one of their center forwards, which is Álvaro Vázquez and Pereyra Diaz. I think both the center forwards are good enough to start as a single number 9, not as in a pair of 2. I think let's see how they do it in this formation. Talking about defensive setup in this formation, I think I personally feel, going back to that setup which I've just shown on the attack, the blocks you see in the blocks which you see in the end. If you see the blocks comparing to the blocks which you drawn in the first formation, I think this is a bit more stable compared to the previous, because that were looking more of right-sided heavy in terms if you face the counter-attack. So I think we see the Jeakson Singh again forming back 3, then Harmanpreet Kabra, Sandeep Singh and Rahul KP forming the trio on the right, and then a trio of left of Jeakson, Adrian Luna and Sahal, and then up front Vázquez. So this might give them a numerical advantage in various attacking position, I think, which might prove handy for Kerala Blasters if they play this formation, and might be a bit more balanced compared to 4-4-2, where we're playing 2 out-and-out strikers. Let's see how they will defend in this formation. That will be also interesting. But again, 4-3-3, when you have 3 midfielders, those midfielders will know their role very well. So I think very simple role, you can see and on your screen. Again, centre back will drop, Jeakson, Sandeep Singh will drop, Jeakson Singh will drop deep in defense in Kabra, and then of course in this formation I think Adrian Luna will cover for Sahal on left wing, and Sahal will play just behind when they don't have the ball, behind Álvaro Vázquez, and I have kept Rahul KP free on right wing. I think that should be the outlet for them to counter-attack and use his pace. And I think we have seen last season he can do that very effectively. So I think I've used Sahal in a asymmetric role. He starts on the left. He might be on the left when they're attacking, but when they're defending, I'm putting Sahal as a just behind the striker in that, in a role. In a block wise, you can see 4 defenders, then 3 midfield, then you have 2 attacking player friend and Rahul KP on right hand side to give that a counter-attacking outlet. Another formation which I have selected for them is 4-2-3-1, a basic 4-2-3-1, in which I have selected Chincho, can be Pereyra Diaz, by the way. He can play on a left wing. And in defense, of course, I have replaced one of the foreign centre back. Then Nishu Kumar has come in. Sanjeev Stalin has come. This is just to rotate the team and see the kind of depth they have. Of course, you have Jeakson Singh. You can play Puitya there. You can play Harmanpreet Kabra and Adrian Luna in the pivot role alongside Jeakson Singh. Sahal as a number 10, which I feel is his best position. Rahul KP is undoubtedly their number 1 winger for sure, because they don't have a quality wingers as Rahul KP is. Talking about movement, I think very simple. I have selected a different movement this time. Nishu Kumar takes the ball, plays that ball to Sahal, and when Sahal do that, you see the trio of midfield which I've drawn on red line, and carry that ball to up front, and then Jeakson Singh also protecting the defense, and then Adrian Luna getting involved, and Luna will have option on Sanjeev Stalin, Rahul KP, Chincho, all Pereyra Diaz, whoever plays in that position alongside Álvaro Vázquez up front. Then Sahal playing in the hole behind the attacking player, which is the Sahal best position according to me. Sahal is very good in the tight spaces, so you have to play him behind those attackers so that he can use that ability to get past those players and find those attacking players. Defensively, again, block 3 of Jeakson and Shopovic, and of course Horimpam as a 3, and then of course you have Adrian Luna, Nishu Kumar on right, and then you have that attacking 4 up front, which teams likes to do nowadays, send their fullbacks or wingers up front, like we've seen in various top matches. So I think this might be the way for them to do it in some games, not all games. I will say, I think they should play 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, which suit them better. Use their player accordingly, rotate them when they were needed, because Kerala Blasters have faced some injuries in past, which kind of destroyed this season. So I think they need to keep these players fit, because now just 4 foreigners are allowed, so you will have 2 foreigners on bench. So I think that will be great for the Kerala Blaster to do so. Now let's see what we can expect from Kerala Blaster this season. I think of course, every team going to the new season to win the titles, to win the trophies. But I think talking about realistically, new coach, new foreigners, new playing style, new formation, I think they should be aiming to fight for the playoff spot, and that's why the Indian players, I personally feel, will play a more important role than the foreign players. Indian players know the league, knows the opponent, better than anybody in that squad. So I think their Indian players' performance is very important, like Rahul KP and how Sahal does in the wing, and also how well Pereyra Diaz, who's Argentine, plays well with Álvaro, who's Spanish. So we have foreigners from different nationality. That's also important. I think that the fans will hope that they will at least finish in the top 4 spot, and eventually when playoff happens, you know that anything can happen here, then you can go and win the trophy also. So I think overall the coach likes to control the tempo of the game, so he will want whoever playing that midfield control the tempo. Talking about the weakness, I think the only weakness you can say, they have good option the fullbacks, but centre back department, Abdul Haku's performance have been not that good, so they have not many options there. They are no Indian centre forward. They have a Shubha Ghosh, which they have loaned out to the East Bengal, and which is as rumored that he might be released and it might be back in January for Kerala Blasters. So they should register him in January, if you ask me. That will give another option to play, and then play extra midfielder, foreign midfielder in form of Adrian Luna in midfield. Talking about other weakness, I think they will be heavily dependent on foreign players to score goals, because as we've seen stats, Sahal and Rahul KP has not scored many goals in past. This might be the season when they score, but I think they will want their foreign centre forwards to fire all gun blazing out for them to score those goals. Also, I think they keep some important players facing some injuries, somebody like Nishu Kumar coming from long injury layoff, the other players who are still facing some injuries. So let's see how well they manage their fitness. So I think like every season, Kerala Blaster fans will hope the team do well. They are excited. They have been supporting team in each and every step that which club have taken, new jersey launches, whatever. They have supported their club. Every online voting I see Kerala Blaster player winning it. I think now is the time for the team to return that favor to their fans, And I think this is the season. Of course, the reboot. Only thing I want to say before I end this video is that, hopefully they stick to the coach. Don't sack him after 2 months. If things are not working, give him time. If you are going into season, if they think Ivan is the man to take them forward, nothing should change in 2 months' time. If you ask me, if because they have gone through various interviews, we have read what their sporting director Carol said, that he have went through so many CVs, so many interviews. So that should not change in 2 months' time. If it doesn't work, stick to the coach. Let him build his squad and let's see how he does. I think hopefully Kerala Blaster will have a good season for their fans at least, and I think I'm looking forward to see how the Indian players do, especially Rahul KP and Sahal, because both the local lads, I hope that they carry this team on the shoulder to the playoff berth. Thank you for watching. If you're liking these videos, you can hit the like button. Let me know in the comment section that what do you feel, how Kerala Blaster will play and who will be the important players for the upcoming season and where they will finish in the table. Thank you.